Hello ninth grade global students, welcome to your next video lesson. Today we're going to be talking about a new river valley civilization called the Indus River Valley. The Indus River Valley is located along the Indus River in the modern day country of India. India is sometimes referred to as the subcontinent. India is a very large peninsula, which means it is a piece of land that's surrounded by water on three sides. There are really two rivers that are very important in the development of early civilization in the Indus River Valley. The Indus River. There's also another river called the Ganges River. Civilizations will start to spring up along the Indus and the Ganges rivers because it's a perfect place for agriculture to thrive. They use irrigation to bring water to their fields. In India, there are weather events called monsoons. Monsoons are seasonal windy storms that come and flood the rivers. And while this can be very destructive, it also leaves behind minerals that help crops grow really well. As far as geography goes, there's also the Himalayan mountains, the northern part of India. The Himalayas is where Mount Everest is, the tallest mountain in the entire world. The Indus River Valley had amazing public works. Public works are projects that a government will commission for an entire civilization to benefit. So in the case of the Indus River Valley, the public work system that was so impressive was their system of roads and grid-like patterns to their cities. If you've ever been to New York City, you've experienced a system like this, where the roads are neatly organized and numbered. This isn't true for every civilization, but in archaeological sites at the Indus River valleys, we can see organized grid-like patterns to their cities. It shows that their government was very organized and had a good plan. Two cities that really exemplify this sophisticated grid-like pattern are Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. Let's talk religion. There are two religions in India that developed many, many years ago that are still important today. The first one we're going to talk about is Hinduism. Now, Hinduism doesn't have an exact date that it was created. There's no one single founder. There are two sacred texts to Hinduism that followers will read and use to guide their lives. One is the Vedas. The Vedas are hymns and rituals that they read about. Another text is called the Upanishads. Upanishads are written conversations between teachers and students, a conversation about how to live a right life. Hinduism has about 900 million followers today. That's an incredible number. One major belief of Hinduism is reincarnation. Reincarnation is the idea that when you die in this life, you are reborn in a new life. You are reincarnated. Another familiar aspect of Hinduism for you might be karma. Karma is the idea that what goes around comes around, right? If you're good to other people, good will come back to you. If you're bad to other people, that's going to come back around to you too. Another major belief in Hinduism is something called dharma. Dharma is the idea that everyone has their place in life, everyone has their role in life, and if you fulfill that role to the best of your ability, that's part of achieving good karma. Society will stay ordered and you will find fulfillment in doing your role well. There is a social hierarchy in Hinduism or in India. It has a specific name. It's called the caste system. In the caste systems, we have several different levels of people based on their class and value. So at the very top, you have the priest class, the educated class. You have warriors at another level. Then we have merchants. Peasants are down at the bottom, but there's also a separate outcast class. And this group is called the untouchables. This demonstrates extreme inequality in India, and actually this caste system is alive and well today. There are a group of people called the untouchables who do what is considered dirty types of work, and literally no one is supposed to touch them because they are set apart and separate. They're the lowest of the low. So Hinduism is the major religion in India. There is another that develops in India called Buddhism. This is probably the second most popular. Buddhism was started by a man named Siddhartha Gautama. Another name for him is just the Buddha. The central idea of Buddhism is that to end suffering in your life and in the world, you need to end selfish desires. There are two main beliefs that will help Buddhists achieve the end of suffering. One is called the Four Noble Truths. And these are just 4 ideas that they live their life by. That suffering exists, that the cause of suffering is being selfish. You should stop being selfish in order to end your suffering. And then the 4th noble truth is about how to live your life continually like this, to just eliminate selfishness completely. There's also another related belief. This is called the Eightfold Path. Buddhists believe that if you follow the Eightfold Path, you can achieve what's called nirvana. Nirvana is a state of ultimate enlightenment. You achieve this by intense meditation. Literally, it means to clear your mind of everything, no selfishness and no desires in your head. The Eightfold Path is the way you can achieve nirvana. Buddhists also believe in reincarnation, just like with Hinduism. That's a similarity that they have. One difference is that Buddhists reject the caste system. They see it as unequal, and they do not follow those beliefs. The last part of this video is about a few of the great empires in the history of India, or what we call ancient India. The first is the Maurya Empire. This empire existed from around 321 to 185 BCE. One of the most powerful rulers and most famous rulers of this empire was a man named Ashoka. Ashoka was able to achieve power and expand the empire in India through battles, some of them very bloody. Once those battles were over, Ashoka was very successful in unifying his empire, and they experienced what is known as a golden age. A golden age is a time period where there is peace in a civilization and prosperity. Prosperity means wealth. During this time, there are mathematicians and scientists, artists, writers who achieve great works during this golden age. Also, Buddhism was spread widely during this time period. Now, a few hundred years later, we have the Gupta Empire, which is about 320 to 550 CE. The most famous ruler of the Gupta Empire was a man named Chandragupta, or Chandragupta II, actually. Now, he achieved greatness for his empire through military alliances, meaning that he made friends with militaries in different regions around close to his empire, and then was also aggressively expansionist. That means that his goal was to expand the empire's territory. So he needed to go out into battle with militaries to add more territory to his empire. And he was successful. And guess what? During the reign of Chandragupta II, we also have a golden age, a time of peace and prosperity. A few mathematical achievements that occur during this golden age in India are the invention of trigonometry, a class you may take in the future. The value of pi is calculated, negative numbers are used, and also the decimal system. We're using decimal points. We also have achievements in architecture under the reign of Chandragupta and his golden age. There were underground buildings that were constructed to store water for when there was a drought in the land. That's another example of a public works project. Chandragupta commissioned this to be built so that the people in his civilization would have water during difficult times. That was a lot of information crammed into a few minutes. I hope you learned a little bit about the Indus River Valley and the history of the empires that thrived there. See you next time.